There is a version of style advice that has an expiry date. The advice that is tied to what is current, what is trending, what particular designers are showing this season, what the algorithm decided was relevant this week. Most style content falls into this category. It feels urgent when it arrives and irrelevant within months. It creates the impression that style is a moving target, that unless you are constantly updating and chasing, you are falling behind. This video is not that kind of advice. What we are going into today are the rules that were true in 1970, were true in 1990, are true today, and will be true for the rest of your life. Not trends, not suggestions. Rules, in the sense that they are consistently, reliably, demonstrably correct, regardless of what season it is, what decade it is, or what age the man applying them happens to be. If anything, these rules become more rather than less relevant as a man gets older, because with age comes the context to understand why they work, the confidence to apply them without apology, and the freedom to care about getting them right without worrying about what anyone else is doing. This channel is about classic menswear, timeless style, and the practical decisions that help men over 60 look sharp without overcomplicating things. These are the rules that underpin everything we talk about on this channel, the foundation that all the specific advice rests on. Learn them once, apply them always. The first rule, and the one that makes the largest visible difference of any single principle in style, is that fit matters more than everything else. More than the brand, more than the price, more than the fabric, the color, or the specific garment. A well-fitted piece of average quality will consistently look better than an expensive piece in the wrong size. And a poorly fitted piece, regardless of what it cost or which label it carries, will consistently undermine every other correct decision in the outfit. This is not a complicated principle to understand, but it is a consistently difficult one to apply for a specific reason. The relationship between fit and what feels comfortable has changed for most men over 60 in a way that works against them. What feels comfortable, the shirt with extra room, the trousers with space through the seat, the jacket with room in the shoulders, is not the same as what looks good. Comfort and good fit can coexist, but excess fabric in the wrong place is not comfort, it is habit, and that habit quietly adds years, adds visual weight, and removes the definition from a silhouette that a correctly fitted garment would give back. The fit rule has 3 specific applications. The shoulder seam of any jacket, blazer or shirt should sit precisely at the shoulder point, not dropping off the edge, not pulled inward. The trouser should end with a single clean break at the top of the shoe, not stacking, not dragging, and the body of any shirt, jacket or knit should follow the natural line of the torso without excess fabric at the sides or the waist. These 3 points, shoulder, break, body, are the checkpoints. When all 3 are right, the fit is right. The second rule is that quality beats quantity in every wardrobe decision, at every price point. Not luxury versus budget. That is not the distinction. The distinction is between a piece that is made correctly, from the right material, to do a specific job, and a piece that looks similar but does none of those things as well. The man who owns 3 well-made, correctly fitted shirts that he wears consistently will always look better than the man who owns 15 shirts of variable quality, most of which do not quite fit, and most of which are not quite the right color. The quality rule is most visibly violated in 3 areas. In knitwear, where the difference between a genuine merino crewneck and an acrylic substitute of the same shape is immediately visible in the surface quality, the drape, and the way the piece ages over multiple wears. In shoes, where the difference between maintained leather and neglected or cheap shoes is the detail that most directly communicates whether a man cares about the finishing of his appearance. And in shirts, where the difference between a fabric that holds its shape and structure through a full day and one that wrinkles, shines or loses its collar shape by mid-morning is the difference between looking considered and looking careless. These are the areas where quality investment pays back most directly and where the gap between good and poor quality is most visible. This rule has a practical application that most men never act on. Buying less, more carefully. Before any purchase, 2 questions. Does this piece connect to at least 3 other pieces I already own? And is the quality high enough that it will still be worth wearing in 3 years? If the answer to either question is no, the piece should not be purchased. This is not restrictive thinking. It is the single most effective way to build a wardrobe that consistently works without the ongoing cost of replacing pieces that were always too marginal to serve well. If you are finding value in this and you would like more of it, the kind of practical, no-nonsense style advice that actually applies to real life after 60, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. There is a great deal more coming, and none of it involves trends. The third rule is one that most style advice treats as a supporting detail, but that functions as a primary principle. Grooming is part of the outfit. A man who is well-dressed but ungroomed does not look well-dressed. He looks like a man who paid attention to his wardrobe and not to himself, and that inconsistency registers to everyone looking at him, even when nobody can name exactly what is incomplete. The grooming elements that most directly affect how style reads are 4: the hair, the beard, or lack of it, the skin, and the eyebrows. None of these require elaborate routines or expensive products. They require consistency and attention, the same qualities that good style requires. A freshly cut hairstyle that is appropriate for the face shape. A beard that is trimmed to a deliberate length with a defined neckline or a clean shave. Skin that is moisturized and cared for. Eyebrows that are maintained rather than allowed to grow without direction. These 4 elements together create the frame within which clothing operates. Get them right and the clothing looks better. Neglect any of them and the clothing looks less good regardless of its quality. The 4th rule is that simplicity is always stronger than complexity in a mature man's wardrobe. Not because complex outfits are wrong in principle, but because complexity in an outfit creates risk. The risk that the elements conflict, that the proportions are off, that one element overwhelms the others. Simplicity eliminates that risk. 3 well-chosen pieces in a coherent color palette, each fitting correctly, create an impression that is stronger, cleaner, and more masculine than 5 pieces assembled with less coordination. The simplicity rule becomes more important with age, not less. In youth, visual complexity in an outfit, many layers, many colors, many competing elements can read as energy or personal expression. On a man over 60, the same visual complexity more often reads as confusion. It asks the question, what is this man trying to say, and provides no clear answer. Simplicity, by contrast, provides the clearest possible answer. This is a man who knows exactly what he is doing. 3 pieces, coherent palette, correct fit. The message is immediate and unmistakable. This rule has a specific application for men over 60. When in doubt, remove something. If an outfit feels like it is missing something, an extra accessory, a bolder color, an additional layer, the instinct is almost always wrong. What the outfit is usually missing is not more, it is precision. The cleaner version of the same outfit, with fewer pieces chosen more carefully, almost always produces a stronger result. A well-dressed older man edits. He does not add. Tell me in the comments which of these rules you think makes the biggest difference and which one you think you have been applying without realizing it all along. I read every comment and I genuinely want to know. The 5th rule connects all the others and is perhaps the most important of the 5. Intention matters more than perfection. A man who dresses with clear intention, who has thought about what he is wearing, why he is wearing it, and how it relates to the impression he wants to create, will always look better than a man who is wearing more expensive or more technically correct clothes without that underlying intention. Intention is the quality that separates men who look like they always dress well from men who sometimes dress well, but inconsistently. The consistent man has made decisions about his palette, his fit, his grooming, his approach to simplicity, and those decisions are in place before he opens the wardrobe. He is not assembling an outfit from scratch every morning. He is expressing a point of view that already exists. This is what gives some men the quality of looking effortless, not that they put in no effort, but that the effort was front-loaded into decisions that now operate automatically. The effort is invisible because it was done in advance. Intention is visible in ways that most men do not consciously register, but that everyone subconsciously does. It shows in the collar that is lying flat, because the man checked it before leaving, in the trouser that breaks correctly, because the man had it hemmed, in the shoe that is maintained because the man values the detail, in the beard that is trimmed because the man decided what his grooming would look like and maintains that decision consistently. None of these things individually announce themselves, but collectively they create an impression of a man who is in control of how he presents himself, and that impression is what style actually is. Style is not what a man wears, it is the relationship between what he wears and what he intends to communicate. A man with intention and modestly priced clothes will consistently outpresent a man with no intention and expensive ones. This has always been true, it will always be true, and it is more available to a man over 60 than to men at almost any other stage of life, because intention is a product of self-knowledge, and self-knowledge is exactly what accumulates with age. Here is the summary. Fit first, always. Quality over quantity, in every purchase decision. Grooming as part of the outfit, not as an afterthought. Simplicity as strength, edit rather than add. And intention as the foundation, because without it, none of the other rules matter. These 5 rules are not new. They were not invented by anyone, and they do not belong to any particular school of style. They are simply the principles that consistently separate men who look good from men who almost look good. The gap between the two is not money, or age, or access to particular clothes. It is the consistent, deliberate application of principles that do not change. A well-dressed older man does not chase what is new. He masters what is true, and these 5 rules are exactly that. So here is the challenge of these 5 rules: fit, quality, grooming, simplicity, and intention. Choose the one you think you are weakest on right now and apply it this week. Just one. Deliberately. You will be surprised how much of a difference one rule, fully applied, makes to the overall impression you create. Let me know in the comments which one you chose, and if you found this useful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you are not subscribed yet, now is the time. This channel is built around exactly these kinds of timeless principles, not trends, not what is fashionable right now, but what consistently works for men who want to look sharp and be respected at 60 and beyond. In the next video, we are going into the wardrobe building mistakes that most men over 60 make when they try to improve their style, and how to avoid every one of them. You will not want to miss that one.